What's up, you guys? Chase the Dark Sage here. Today we are back with another video, and today we're doing a new manga reading log. I know, shocker. We really haven't done one of these in a long while. Actually, I kind of capped. We kind of did do this, but we did this for the Nasty Man series. This is for the non-Nasty Man series in my collection. If you don't know what a manga reading log is, it's basically just a video of me talking to you guys and telling you guys about some series I've been reading, whether I recommend them or not, and how I'm feeling about some of these series right here. Now, some series right here, they will be getting a full video review, but I'm still in the process of actually reading them, so no video review for them yet. But manga reading log videos for me essentially serve as a video where I talk about these manga series, but I don't want to dedicate a full-on video for just one particular manga series. So a manga series like, well, Black Paradox by JUNJI Ito, I don't want to dedicate a full video to this because I feel like my thoughts could be summed up pretty quickly on a series like this. Now, I could have made a YouTube shorts, but where's the fun in that? I want to talk to you guys. I want to see you guys' comments down in the comment section down below. Plus, you guys really don't be looking at my shorts, so I'm not going to go ahead and waste my time doing that. But before we actually get into it, we got some series in here that obviously you guys have heard about. I think all these series you probably heard about, except for a few of the Akira Toriyama stuff, but most of these series in here you guys have probably heard about, and let me know what you've been reading down in the comment section down below. But before we actually get into the video, make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, follow me on all my other social media platforms. All my links will be in the description down below. So let's go ahead and talk about what I've been reading, baby. Now, since I already brought this series up, let's go ahead and talk about Black Paradox by JUNJI Ito. And this series is a weird one, a strange one, in fact, not bizarre. We'll be talking about something bizarre later. But this series is basically about 4 people who want to control or delete themselves. And when they're in the process of doing it, they first run into their doppelgangers. These doppelgangers then try to take over them, and they're afraid of that, so they try to stop the doppelgangers. But then one of the people that was part of the initial group that was trying to control or delete themselves, they end up almost doing it, but end up opening a wormhole / portal in their mouth to a different dimension, which gives them this type of mineral that is worth a pretty penny in the real world. But later on, they found out that that mineral is really souls from dead people. And so every time they blast these souls, it creates a big explosion and souls drift away. This is my first JUNJI Ito manga, right? And this one did not leave a good impression. Now, I will say that the concept alone, when I just heard that it's 4 people trying to control, delete themselves, and they fail on doing it, I'm like, all right. Why are 4 people meeting? Why do they want to control or delete themselves? There were so many questions asked from that initial synopsis. When I got to reading, I just questioned why I actually read it in the first place. If this is an indicator on what JUNJI Ito is in general, I'm gonna try Uzumaki, I'm gonna try Tomie or whatever it's called, but this right here, I did not like it. And me, I'm a big horror buff. I love scary movies, but this right here, I'm not sure if I'm really gonna like horror in the manga format. There's some things to me that just don't work in the manga format compared to if it was in a movie or in a cartoon, if you get what I'm saying. So yeah, Black Paradox right here by JUNJI Ito. I mean, the format's nice, it's premium quality, it's cool, but the actual contents inside of it, it's actually scary to read. I'm not gonna cap to y'all. I should have been scared to read this. In fact, I'm having nightmares from reading this, and not from the contents. Well, technically from the contents, from the actual writing of this. Next series I got up and that I haven't talked about in like years on this channel, and that has to be Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead. And honestly, I'm an enjoyer of Zom 100. I didn't know it was the same person that made Alice in Borderland. They made this. I did not know that, especially when I saw a reference to Alice in Borderland in Zom 100, and they was talking about how he has a TV show, and I'm like, huh, I wonder what TV show he has that's on Netflix. Then they said Alice in Borderland. I'm like, wait, excuse me, the same manga that made that makes this? But it's funny because I haven't read that manga yet, but I heard that it's really good, and I'm pretty sure that one is way different compared to what Zom 100 is. And if you don't know what Zom 100 is, basically a guy wakes up from his dead-end job one day to a zombie apocalypse, and he makes a bucket list of all the things he wants to do. Inevitably and ironically, while he was working and everything was normal, he wasn't living. But now that everybody's dead and the world is turned upside down, now he wants to live. You get what I'm saying? There's the irony right there. And I gotta say, this series is definitely not a series that takes itself seriously. Is a series that doesn't take itself seriously. But this is a manga that doesn't take itself seriously. The cast of characters, and it's all right. They just get into hijinks and certain things happen, and whether you like the comedy or not, that's going to be very subjective, and that's going to be very dependent on if you like the series or not, because it's definitely comedy driven and adventure driven. Now, there's not a lot of adventure because they kind of stop in certain places. They do what they got to do. Something goes wrong, then they got to move to the next place. And honestly, I will say that I'm enjoying Zom as one of those things that, you know, I kind of read in between my big reads. This is a filler read right here. And if you don't know what a filler read is, well, basically, it's the series that I kind of read or catch up with while I'm in between my big binges, like a JoJo Bizarre Adventure or a Hunter x Hunter. So yeah, Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead. I see that it's getting an anime, and this isn't bad by any means, but it's also not great. You know what I'm saying? It's basically middle of the line. Dare I say it's mid. Next series we got up on here, and this is the first time I've actually talked about the series since I've done my first ever manga haul on the channel, and that has to be Uzaki-Chan Wants to Hang Out. Now, Uzaki-Chan Wants to Hang Out is one of those series that really got me into rom-com slash slice of life series, and honestly, I have enjoyed Uzaki-Chan. Each chapter is about 10 pages, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, these chapters in here are wordy, but basically a good amount of stuff happens in these chapters where you're like, okay, I read a chapter, I'm pretty satisfied with what I read. Now, like I said, Uzaki-Chan, it's very wordy. But if you guys know who I am, you guys know I'm a nasty man. But you guys also know that this is one of the series that's part of the Trinity. Oh, the Trinity. And if you don't know what the Trinity is, the Trinity consists of Don't Tour Me Miss Nagatoro, Uzaki-Chan Wants to Hang Out, and Teasing Master Takagi-san. That is the Trinity of teasing right there. The teasing Trinity right there. Where basically the woman character teases the male character, and the male character either gets annoyed or they get mad or they try to get back and they never can. But the reason that this one is I don't want to say the best, but it's one of the better ones of the Holy Trinity is because, well, all the characters are adults and they're in college. So you don't have to feel bad whenever you're reading stuff and you see some etchy moments. And I got 6 volumes of it. I read it all. Like I said, it's wordy, but it was worth the read. Oh my gosh, you guys know I do not watch anime anymore. The reason I don't watch anime anymore is because, well, it just doesn't fit in with my schedule compared to when I could just read a manga volume. I could just read a manga volume right now. Like while I'm in the middle of the video, I could bust out a chapter right now and you wouldn't know it with the power of editing. But guess what? I can't do that with an anime episode. By the time I get done watching an anime episode, I'm gonna want to go on my bed, get a pillow, put the cover on me, and turn the ceiling fan on, and take a nap. They be tiring me out. When it comes to manga, I'm enthralled. Oh, I'm in there. I'm invested. This is my time. This is my pace that I'm controlling at my own will. This is the one thing I love about reading manga. And honestly, Uzaki-Chan, I love the first season, which made me actually get the manga. And now that the second season's out, I haven't watched the second season, obviously because I don't watch anime. So now I have to read the manga. And honestly, the manga, it's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good, and it seems like it's actually moving somewhere. This is the one thing with romance series that I hate, when the series acts like it doesn't want to move anywhere. This series actually feels like it's moving towards a goal, which I do like. Now, I hope the end goal is in sight, but either way, it feels like it's actually moving towards something, and that's one thing I can appreciate when Uzaki-Chan Wants to Hang Out. Like I said, I only got 6 volumes of it, and it's pretty wordy, but each chapter is like 10 pages. You could bust out a volume in a day, maybe 2 volumes. Then again, it's pretty wordy, so let's go back to 1 volume. Now, if you guys know me, or if you've been on the channel for a while, you guys know that, well, I'm a big Dragon Ball / Dragon Ball Z fan / stan. And obviously the creator of Dragon Ball, well, he's a really well-known mangaka within the industry, and he's had some other series as well that I've been reading that are available in the English format as well, such as Sandland, about some devils and humans trying to find a source of water because, well, they live in the desert and somehow it's all dried up. There's no rain coming and they got to team up in order to find the source of water and bring it back to their people to stay living. You get what I'm saying? And certain things like this from Akira Toriyama, he excels in adventure / comedy series. Now, Dragon Ball Z, contrary to popular belief, was a super one-off thing compared to what Akira Toriyama usually does for his style. He usually does gag, adventure, comedy manga right there. Dragon Ball Z is definitely out of his wheelhouse, which was very successful, so I'm not gonna say it was a failure or anything like that, but it's definitely something different compared to all the other series that he's written before, like Sandland. And Sandland is a very enjoyable read. There is an anime coming out for it soon, and honestly, it's mid. It's mid. I'm not gonna lie and say that it's the greatest thing I've ever read. I really enjoyed Sandland. I had a really fun time with it. It's only 1 volume's worth of content, and that's the one thing I like about Akira Toriyama series, that you have a series like Sandland, or you have a series like Cowa that we're going to talk about in a few minutes, where it's basically just 1 volume. You get the whole story right here and you're good. You don't have to talk about it anymore. Or like Jacko the Patrolman. We talked about Jacko on this channel. I think that Jacko is a dang near 9 out of 10 / 10 out of 10 for Akira Toriyama. I don't want people to think coming out this video that, you know, I just think that Jocko is a 10 out of 10 on every single board when it comes to just grading a manga. No. For Akira Toriyama style, I consider Jocko a 9 out of 10. And these series right here for Akira Toriyama style as well, I give this about 6/7 out of 10. And we also have Cowa right here about this little boy monster that's trying to save his whole village of monsters because they get some monster flu, which ends up killing the monsters. He has to team up with this serial killer or this murderer that's randomly moved into his city, which is a human, obviously. He has to team up with him in order to get this cure way out in the mountains, but obviously he can't go by himself because he's a little boy, so he has to have some adult supervision. Series like Cowa and Sandland are very similar in nature, but I gotta say that I really enjoy them. If you like Akira Toriyama style, and if you like the style of Dragon Ball and what that kind of is in the pre-World Tournament saga type stuff, you'll definitely enjoy some of Akira Toriyama's works right here. And the last Akira Toriyama work that I want to actually talk about is the Manga Theater right here, which is just a bunch of short stories made by Akira Toriyama, which are some are hit, some are miss, and some are you get what I'm saying? I really like the Manga Theater because it gives you a good variety of what Akira Toriyama style really is compared to series like Dragon Ball, Cowa, and Sandland, and Dr. Slump. Obviously his art style is very recognizable, and his gag and his comedy style is very noticeable as well after you read a series like this. And I gotta say that I really enjoyed my read with this. It did take me a while. You saw how thick that volume was. There is a lot of chapters in that bad boy, so it's gonna take you a while to get through it, and I'm not gonna lie. Some chapters, they drag more than some of the others, but some are just really good. And there'd be some where I had this like really gritty adventure looking thing, and it'd only be like 2 pages. I'm like, Akira, I know you want to itch that Dragon Ball Z itch. I know you have it. Go ahead and just fully explore that right there. I saw one where I was like, oh my gosh. The artwork, the page, the paneling. What are we doing right here, Akira? Akira Toriyama. What are we doing right here, Akira Toriyama? What are we doing? Come on, continue that. Don't continue this little story about this boy that's trying to learn how to go on a date. I get it. It's cool for his style, but some story just went on a little longer than I would have really liked it to. So yeah, Akira Toriyama, the GOAT of manga. You get what I'm saying? The GOAT of gag/comedy manga right here. So with Sandland, Cowa, and the Manga Theater, all I have to read is Dr. Slump, and I've read every single thing that Akira Toriyama has released in English. And Dr. Slump has been severely out of stock for a long while, so pray for my wallet and pray for me to have the patience to actually find all of Dr. Slump. Next series I want to talk about is Hunter x Hunter. Now, I have actually been reading this with my boy Sam Sidequest, and if you don't know who that is, I'll put a link to his channel down below. But we've actually been reading this series together. We're reading about 5 volumes a week, and honestly, right now we're in the Chimera Ant arc, and I will say this, there's a review to be had on Hunter x Hunter, and my views have changed. I used to think Hunter x Hunter was enjoyable mid. I used to think it was enjoyable mid. I've had a change of heart. Hunter x Hunter is good. Hunter x Hunter is good, I know. And I gotta say it like this. The manga is better than the anime counterpart. Ooh, I know, I probably hurt some people right there. Look, I enjoyed the anime. My introduction to Hunter x Hunter was through the anime itself, but I think Hunter x Hunter has this one effect I like to call the Dragon Ball Super effect, even though Hunter x Hunter came out before Dragon Ball Super, that it looks very bright, colorful, and it doesn't get that gritty artwork or that gritty aspect that I really like. But with this, the manga right here, oh, there's some gruesome pages. There's some very brutal pages. There are some pages where I'm like, oh, that didn't get animated. I know it didn't get animated. And the dark tone and atmosphere that Togashi really uses and actually implements into the Hunter x Hunter manga, oh, that 2011 anime didn't capture that at all. Oh no, it did not capture the grittiness of this manga at all. I love the manga counterpart so much. Now, the one thing I do like about the anime more than the manga, the artwork. That artwork in the anime is very consistent, the designs are very consistent, and it's very bright and colorful, and it's well animated. While with the manga, I feel like it gets a bit more grittier, and the artwork, it kind of, the artwork is kind of and also the manga is, it's wordy. It's a bit wordy. I will say that it did teach me to learn to read faster because I didn't want to start getting lapped in this read through that me and Sam are doing. So I was like, all right, I gotta start learning to use my Nen, my Rio, my Gyo to start reading it faster. I've been having a super fun time with Hunter x Hunter, and if it wasn't for Sam, I wouldn't have gotten to this series so soon. And we're going through a pretty good pace. Like I said, we're at the Chimera Ant arc, and we only started like a few weeks ago. Me and my boy Sam have been having a fun time discussing this and reading this. Like I said, a full review is to be had on Hunter x Hunter, but I will say that my opinions have changed about it. I really enjoy it. I really think it's good. Hunter x Hunter, it's in my top 10 now, and then especially with the Chimera Ant arc, me thinking it's one of the best arcs in Shonen Jump. And it's already starting off to a good start too. Oh my gosh. Yes. Give me more Hunter x Hunter. And the last series I gotta talk about, and guys, you know how I get with this series. This is one of my favorite series of all time. It's my number 2. It's right behind Dragon Ball Z. In fact, I got a shrine of it right behind me. And that series has to be JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. I have been reading JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for a little while now, especially with me reading Part 7, Still Bar Run, on my channel Read the Room. And if you don't know what that is, well, go ahead, check out that channel Read the Room and hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before we hit the end of Still Bar Run. We've been going through them chapters pretty quickly. But I have been rereading JoJo's Bizarre Adventure because I actually never actually read it or went through a read through of all of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I started it in the past, but I've dropped it. I'm obviously an anime only. I'm a huge fan of the anime. I bought the Blu-rays, I bought figures, I've watched the anime. I've watched Part 3 like 2 or 3 times at this point. Part 3 is my favorite part, by the way, which that's the part I'm actually reading currently right now, besides Part 7. And oh my gosh, I just keep reading heat. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is heat. If you're not reading JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I understand. Not everybody has good taste. I understand. I do though. That's why I'm reading JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But oh my gosh, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'm not gonna cap to y'all. Part 1, Phantom Blood, the part that starts off with Jonathan. It's a bit. I read it in like a couple of hours. It's like 44 chapters. It was a quick read, but I will say that for the time, it probably wasn't bad. But as of right now, compared to today's standards, yeah, part 1 ain't that good. But it's not bad. Part 1 is not bad, especially for the time period that it came out in. Now, Part 2 has my favorite JoJo of all time. Joseph Joestar, the GOAT, my favorite MC of all time as well, besides Goku/Gohan. Now, with Joseph, definitely different compared to his actual grandfather of Jonathan from Part 1. He is literally the polar opposite, besides him not being evil, you get what I'm saying? But in terms of attitude, in terms of demeanor, in terms of how he handles certain things, and in terms of his smarts that he has, because ooh, that boy Joseph Joestar is smart. He is definitely different and a breath of fresh air compared to a character like Jonathan Joestar, who is basically a goody two-shoes. He's doing good stuff for the good of good things, you get what I'm saying? But with Joseph, he's like, does that benefit me? And I'm like, yo, I love Joseph Joestar. I love him. You wasn't gonna say that you really like that manga, did you? I didn't really like that manga. You get what I'm saying? I love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 2, but I read Part 2. It took me about a week to get through Part 2 because I am reading other series alongside JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And once I finished Part 2, I was like, all right, cool. Cars wasn't the best villain out of all of them, but either way, I still enjoyed Part 2. Part 2 is one of my favorite parts, but since I'm currently reading Part 7 on my Read the Room channel, like I said, go ahead, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already on that channel. Part 7 is the best part, bar none. Part 7 is the best part. Part 3 is my favorite part. But when it comes to the writing, the artwork, everything in Part 7, the character progression and /development /growth. Oh my gosh, go read Part 7 if you haven't already. I cannot wait until Part 7 gets released in English. When I'm about 40 years old, I'm gonna be a geezer. A lot of you guys on here that are kids are gonna be adults by the time that Part 7 comes out, which is sad. We don't even have Part 6 yet. Part 5 isn't even done in English at the time we record this video, which is sad. Very, very sad. But either way, when it gets released, I'm gonna be buying it. And like I said earlier, I am currently reading Part 3, but I had to take a break on it because I'm actually starting JJK. And the reason I'm starting JJK is because my boy Matt and Sam, man, they've been getting me into some trouble, man. They've been trying to talk about it. They've been trying to spoiler talk it, man. And I'm like, man, look, don't spoiler talk that. I'm an anime only. And they probably like, Chase, you don't even watch anime. So what are you talking about? Just read the manga. And I just said, yes, sirs. So I'm starting to read the manga. I'm reading JJK. I'm like 20 chapters in at the time when we record this video. But by the time this video comes out, I might be past chapter 100. I don't know. I'll be reading. I be reading when I really need to. But yeah, I've been having a really fun time reading manga. I don't know what it is, but my passion for manga reading has really been reinvigorated lately. And I'm just like, give me something to read. Give me something to devour. Don't give me no trash though. A lot of you guys want to recommend me trash. Don't recommend me no trash. When it comes to this, like reading my shonens, oh my gosh. I'm like, yes, please. I'm trying to feast right now. That's why I'm probably big as I am now. I need to diet on some of these shonens. I had a little seinen blood in there. No, I don't. I just finished Pluto, so I'm good. But that's about it for the manga reading log. I just want to talk to you guys about some of the series I am reading that I'm not going to make a full video on, and some of the series that you can anticipate a full video on later on this channel. Like I said, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, down below, comment what you've been reading lately. What have you been enjoying lately? Let me know in the comment section down below. Like I said, thank you guys for watching. And if you are new to the channel and you haven't already, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, like the video, post notification, and I gotta give a huge shout out to my Patreon pledgers for going ahead and financially supporting the channel. Guys, I highly appreciate what you guys are doing for me, financially donating on Patreon. And I gotta give a huge shout out for the YouTube members for also financially donating on the YouTube side of things as well. Big shout out to Broke Boy Gang. We're not actually buying manga in this video. We're actually talking about manga. What? A manga tuber reading manga? That is absurd. I know, right? I've been reading a lot of manga lately. Like I told you guys, I'm trying to review or at least talk about every single series I have on my shelf. Pray for me.
Back in it, baby, just staying in town. I'm on the edge, I ain't coming down. I get too high, I'm afraid of the ground. I'm young and I'm paid to play with these sounds. Ignoring the call, she shutting that gown. Started at the top and I'm taking it down off the champagne. Took a break from the brown on a rampage. I've been giving it brown. Shawty been solid some time now. I'm my life for the wine, dining, and I'm with it. Look where we started and look